Hello, Beyond the Gates fans. It is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Gonna give a quick, and I do mean quick this time, review of today's episode. I'm doing this later than usual because I had to get a sexy little haircut today. Sorry. And I know what y'all are thinking. I should be cast as Eva's new love interest on the show, but unfortunately, even though I've never acted a day in my life, I do think I have slightly more charisma than the robot that plays Tomas, but we seem to be stuck with Tomas as Eva's love interest. He wasn't on today, at least, but Eva was on today. But we're going to begin with... Let's begin with Nicole and Ted running into each other. This is the first time Nicole and new Ted have shared some scenes, and I said a couple days ago that I felt that they were going to have some really good chemistry. I don't know if it's as good as I was hoping from them, but it is there. I do think Nicole and new Ted have more chemistry than Nicole and old Ted did. Nicole and old Ted were flat, for sure. So I sort of see the vision with the recast. They seem to want to make Ted more compatible with his family, which is fair. We haven't seen it with Martin, but I don't think old Ted and Martin had many scenes together anyway, so that's nothing new here with new Ted. However, I'm still not completely sold on new Ted altogether. I don't know if it's the portrayal or the writing. I think it's kind of both. They continue to write new Ted as way too passive for me. I kind of get it. He's going through hell. He wants to prove to Nicole he's still a good guy. We'll see his upcoming scenes with Leslie in the next episode, but I need more pushback against Leslie. Now, Kat showed up, happy to see her parents together, played the recording of Leslie trying to somewhat throw Eva under the bus. Ted was sticking up for Eva, which I like to see. I like that both Ted and Eva just finding out about the other. Well, Eva's known that Ted was her father, but Eva just learned that Ted thought that Leslie had an abortion. So there was lies to Eva as well. But yeah, good to see Ted sticking up for Eva with Kat. Now, I felt like Nicole kind of steamrolled Ted in the conversation, which is why I say that Ted's portrayal is a little meek right now, and I don't know if it's the portrayal or the writing. It has to be both, because this is the way the episode was written. But I do also understand that Nicole wants Ted to fix the situation. He brought this evil woman, Leslie, Dana, into their lives, and now she wants him to take care of it, and told him to take care of it. We'll see if he can. How can you take care of Leslie at this point? I don't know if it's possible. She's so off the wall. I liked Kat. Well, first of all, Ted and Nicole also want Kat to stay away from Leslie, and they don't like her trying to be an amateur detective. And Nicole thinks Kat's just too obsessed with true crime and is now trying to be a detective in this situation. But that didn't stop Kat, because she did go to Shanice about the night that the event of Laura's heart problem happened. If anything was odd, and Shanice, of course, remembers the nurse that she didn't know, which was Leslie in disguise. Don't even remember that nurse's name was Gigi or something to that effect. But yeah, Shanice is a key and has been since we saw that episode. I was worried about Shanice back then, that it was going to really fall back on her and Leslie was going to go after her, but I think Kat is going to be the one that puts herself in danger with Leslie soon if she stays on this amateur detective stuff. Jacob did also have to tell the family that Eva does have an alibi for the night. Kat, however, does still have her tunnel vision for Eva. She told Andre something like, "Oh, it looks like I just really have it out for Eva, but she finds it impossible to think that Eva didn't know anything her mother was doing because she was in on the plan." And on one hand, I kind of see that perspective from Kat. It's just, to me, the way the story's been written is that from day one, yeah, Kat was right about Eva was playing the family and that she was suspicious. But she just doesn't like Eva. And I still think a lot of that has to do with classes stuff. And that's why I hope some of your comments on the channel about Kat might not be a Dupree by the end of this story. That's why I hope it happens, because I want to see that egg on Kat's face. Now, Leslie was the highlight of the episode again. Leslie went to visit Eva. And at least one time, every time Leslie's been on an episode, she cracks me up in some way. Today, it was her telling Eva that it's not this big deal that Ted got Eva a hotel room. Because there's been many times in the past that Ted got her a hotel room, because that's basically where they used to have sex all the time. And going into details with her daughter about such sex. Leslie was being Leslie, which is a good thing. I also, however, like that Eva was the cold one in this relationship today. For the past couple of weeks, Leslie's been so cold where Eva is concerned. And Eva was throwing it back at her mother today. I also like that Eva tried to push back on Leslie's delusions that Ted might want her again someday. Eva trying to tell her that that's not going to happen, and also said something like anyone half sane would see that, which of course Leslie doesn't like to be called crazy. They keep pointing that out every time it happens, which just makes Leslie look even crazier. So yeah, great writing today for Leslie per usual. And she and Eva left the hotel. She put something in the door to stop it from closing all the way and locking, so that she could go back to Eva's hotel room and be there when Ted shows up, which was our cliffhanger today. I thought, I will say at the end of this episode, I liked the small interaction. It was small between new Ted and Leslie, but it was better than their first scenes together with new Ted. So I have hope that maybe new Ted will be better in tomorrow's scenes with Leslie, but he can't be written as meek as he was with Nicole today. And the portrayal needs to be a little more there with Ted, because I'm not saying they need to have chemistry like I thought old Ted and Leslie had, but Ted needs to have some fire in those scenes with Leslie nonetheless. I'm not going to talk too much about Tracy and Anita, and Tracy finding out that there's an agent that wants to get the band back together, the Articulates. Tracy doesn't think Sharon will go for it. So that's the story we're going to get with Sharon soon. The casting for Sharon needs to be really good, because that's the only way this story is ever going to get interesting to me. Derek and Ashley made up. Who cares? My gripe with this story is that it's another... They're writing it as men bad again, even though clearly Ashley was the one in the wrong in this instance, this fight with Derek. But Derek's the one that ends up apologizing. And Andre's trying to tell Ashley that she didn't do shit wrong. It's not her fault that Derek went so far as to want to move out of the house. Spare me. The triangle is shit, is what it is. The only other thing I did like today was June and the whole As the World Turns reference, which I thought was funny, going by Tamara Tooney's old character, that June was saying her real name is Jessica Griffin and her husband cheated on her and she has a daughter named Bonnie, and all these As the World Turns references was nice, a nice tongue-in-cheek, since Procter & Gamble owned As the World Turns as well. It also aired on CBS, and like I said, that was Tamara Tooney's first role in a soap opera, as far as I remember, and only role in a soap opera until this one. So yeah, they painted June as someone with memory problems and doesn't remember the kids in the picture. The obvious thing is that it's going to be Samantha and Tyrell, you would think. But maybe it still will be Haley. Because like I've been saying, Haley needs something to make that character better. Period. But I am, I guess, intrigued with the June part of the story. I do like them bringing Nicole into the story, being the psychiatrist that can maybe help her and talk to her. Anyway, that's my quick review for the day because I'm in a hurry, because I'm late, and I have other things I got to do. But I will be back tomorrow for Friday's episode. Hopefully we'll get good scenes between Ted and Leslie, and hopefully it's just a good Friday episode. Hopefully there's no Derek, Ashley, and Andre. They've been on 4 episodes in a row. No. Those characters are a waste of the show's time.